I've become quite used to liberals going berserk when I come to speaking events, especially on college campuses. They whine, they cry, they throw tantrums, they protest. All that is fine and dandy. Use the First Amendment, call me names, whatever. But what happened last Thursday night was not the First Amendment. It was not protected speech. It was what happens when the meek misfits of society band together in a mob and go buck wild because society has coddled and protected them for far too long. This angry mob of disgruntled thugs pushed through campus security, shoving and physically assaulting the campus officers attempting to guard the doors. They pulled the fire alarm, made verbal threats, and continued to try to push their way inside, screaming and chanting expletives at the top of their lungs. About 30 minutes into my speech, they became so aggressive and out of control, they nearly busted through the doors. And it was at that point the campus officers rushed me, my dad, and an elderly couple into the student union back kitchen for our safety. But some of these saintly protesters now want to claim what they did was peaceful and an exercise of free speech. Yeah, no. It was so bad that New Mexico State Police, Albuquerque Police, and the emergency response team had to be called in. Not by the university, mind you. UNM did nothing, despite the fact they knew this mayhem was planned, knew it was getting more and more dangerous by the minute, and knew personal safety for me and the other students was at risk. They just didn't quite frankly give a damn. But these wildly triggered campus liberals, with the help of Antifa provocateurs, billed their riot as a protest against white supremacy because these wackos have learned if they use that banner and that cause, they'll be granted the moral high ground regardless of the merits and can act in any manner they choose with no repercussions. But can you imagine the outcry if this has happened at an event for a liberal, leftist, or Democrat speaker? Boy, I have a strong feeling those involved would be suspended, fined, or both at the bare minimum. But as for these rabid liberal banshees, no, celebrated. It wasn't until UNM got a call from Fox News and the incident started trending on Twitter that they made a statement they'd investigate what happened. Well, let me help you, UNM. Your beloved campus social justice warriors plastered it all over social media. And the ringleader behind the whole thing is a journalist for the student-run campus newspaper, for God's sake. If you'd like to know a little bit about him, he was previously arrested for restraining and sitting on his girlfriend for over an hour and threatening to put her head in a meat grinder. Yeah, sounds like your typical First Amendment advocate, right? The man is practically the James Madison of Albuquerque right there. But it wasn't just psychotic college kids that celebrated what happened on Thursday night. The disgusting blue checks and liberals of Twitter, they had to chime in. A New York Times reporter, a former NBA turned podcaster, and of course, the always abhorrent Keith Olbermann. I'm forced to hide out in a student union kitchen before being taken away by a SWAT team in an armored vehicle, and these loving and tolerant feminist liberals cheerlead it. Imagine if a conservative writer or a TV personality tweeted about any liberal woman in my situation and then called her an escort. These Twitter a-holes, the protester, the university, everyone involved, disgusting. You know, I can take name calling, I can deal with signs and chants and protests. This was not that. And what was their goal? What would they have done if they were able to get in that room? Would they have mauled me, kidnapped me, dragged me through the campus? I don't know. They kicked holes in their own student union and assaulted officers, so it just goes to show how little F's they give about basic decency. And look, I'm safe. I was escorted safely by police. I'm fine. But think about those students who attended the speech. I don't even know how they were able to get out of there without being harmed, but I hope to God they all did and they got home safely. And now they have to return to class with these psychopaths who tried to attack them. And all for what? Because Tomi Lahren came to speak at a completely voluntary speech in a student union banquet hall at 7 p.m. on a Thursday night. If you're wondering why your kids go to college conservative and come home communist, well, look no further than the campus environment aided, abetted, and fostered by Democrats, the media, and the university system at large. But if you think this is going to stop me or any of the conservative students I was lucky enough to meet that night, well, you're sorely mistaken. No, I'm more energized than ever. And you little twerps might feel high and mighty about what you did. I'm sure you sat in your mama's basement with your double masks on and felt pretty cool, but make no mistake, my green-haired friends, you didn't win. Because there are two types of people in this world, those who are humble and those who are about to be. You're the latter of the two, and your time is coming. Bet on that.